Welcome to this episode of Eureka. We are at Bhopal and we are at the National Institute of High Security Animal Diseases. It is a constituent unit of Indian Council for Agricultural Research, and we are going to have a very interesting conversation with its director, Dr. V.P. Singh. Before we continue this conversation, let's take a quick look at his brief profile, and this conversation is going to be very enlightening. Keep watching Eureka.
Infectious diseases of livestock are a major threat to global animal health, and when it comes to zoonotic infections, which are transmissible either directly or indirectly between animals and humans, are on the increase and pose significant additional threats to human health. It is where Dr. V.P. Singh has extensively worked. Currently, Dr. V.P. Singh is the director of ICAR, National Institute of High Security Animal Diseases at Bhopal. Having more than 30 years of experience in the area of animal research, education and management, Dr. Singh did outstanding work in the eradication of contagious bovine pleuropneumonia infection from India, and also in the development of diagnostic kits for caprine pleuropneumonia infection, avian influenza antibody detection, and the porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome antibody detection. He also played a vital role in the development of vaccines like caprine pleuropneumonia for goats and hemorrhagic septicemia for cattle and buffalo. Dr. Singh received many honours, and noted among them is the ODA Tombit Fellowship to UK, and also member of the Board of Directors of the Asian Organization of Mycoplasmology of Japan.
Sir, thank you for being with us in this show. It's a wonderful opportunity for us.
Thank you.
So let me start with a little bit of your background. I mean, you came here about 5 years ago.
4 years.
Before that, you were at the Indian
Veterinary Institute.
Veterinary Institute. Yeah, IVR, right? So, if I ask you, I mean, you would have put at least some 20-25 years of service
25
over
years.
there. So, if I ask you some of the major work that you did, which you feel very satisfied even now, can you tell us one or two of them?
One thing, the first thing is the eradication of the contagious bovine pleuropneumonia. If you see the things,
it's a kind of a pneumonia.
This is the kind of pneumonia is the disease of the cattle, and the whole of the northeast is suffering around in the, I think in the 1970 to 90. Okay. The huge death is there, and that's the disease is there, and a lot of mortality and production losses are there. So in that cases, we start the things are the programs on that with the help of the government of India, and I think this is the great achievements of the Indian Veterinary Institute and the scientists. In 2007, we have eradicated this.
You eradicated completely?
Yes, that's the eradicated the disease from the country, and after the render pass, I think so this is second disease there. That's so this is the. It's a great achievements for satisfaction for me and for the institutions are there.
Because your work actually also helped the poor people in Northeast who are having few cattle.
That's the disease is caused by the mycoplasma. So the mycoplasma is between the virus and bacteria. So very interesting organisms are there. And apart from that, we are working on the very important.
Can we know a little bit about this organism? How does it work? What was it?
This is the organism is don't have the effect of the antibiotics because don't have the cell wall is there. That's the interesting things are there. So that is the middle is the.
It is neither bacteria nor virus.
Virus is there, but some drugs are there. They are working on. That one is there.
So when you address this challenge, what was your main challenge? I mean, what was the main impediment?
Main challenge is there, particularly that taking all the control programs are there. You have to inoculate the vaccines are there. So we prepare the kill vaccine are there here with the help of the state governments are there. And inoculated all the vaccines are there, and then we follow what the OI is there. OI guidelines are there how to eradicate. So that's the disease, freedom from the country from the disease and other things. That's the protocol is there. So in around after 2003, we have stopped everything are there. And then start the diagnosis. In all the villages, collect the data is there. If any cases of the pneumonia is there, that sample will bring to IVRI. And they say this is the normal pneumonia or the pneumonia is caused by the CBPP.
Okay.
And that's we say the things are this. No cases are there. Then submit the documents to the OIA. There's the international body is there. And then 2007 they give the certificates. That's the country is the free from that one.
Okay, so we have become free from that.
Yes, the CBP.
Suppose if I ask you to give a value? Meaning, suppose, what was the kind of number of death of animals happening before we intervene? And
the exact number, so we can't say the thing because this is the whole northeast, but I think that the data is there from the state government data is there. I think they say they around more than around the 20,000 animal, 15 to 20,000 animal deaths in the.
So that actually means about some 20,000 families.
Yeah,
right?
More than that's one. Yes.
That is, I mean,
and that's the all the northeast of the Assam. So that's the poor families are there. So I think that's the great things, particularly in the cattle population.
So I can very clearly understand that why you think that is one of your most important work. That's very clear. So can we expand something more? I mean, what other
areas are there? If you see the things are there, another important disease is the cattle and buffalo, the hemorrhagic septicemia. This is sometimes caused in the local language galagotu. Still, that's the important disease in the whole of the country is there.
Okay.
So that's the IVRI, we are in the group of that's one program was there. So we start the number of diagnostic tests are there, and that's we are also developed the vaccines are there. So that's still work is going on after that is there, and that's because whatever the vaccines are there in the country they are not providing the protection in more than 6 months, 7 months. But we are starting the thing at least that the vaccine is there that provide the vaccine at least for 1 year. Or I think they have prepared the vaccines are there in the trials are there. I think in the near future that will be working on that one. The similar way is the another important is particular goats. You're talking the things are there, pneumonia, because I work many years in the mycoplasma.
Okay.
The another very important is the contagious caprine pneumonia. That's in the goat. And if you see that the goat mortality is much more high in this, and the goat again the poor farmer's cow.
Yeah.
You see the things are there. So and that cases are there is very difficult how to diagnose the diseases are there. People are confusing the normal pneumonia, other things are there. That's in the IVRI, we prepare the diagnostic kits are there, and that's vaccine is there. So that diagnosis is very simple, very cheap, and that's people are using. So these 2-3 things is much more important in the IVRI. That's we were working. But after coming is here, I can show the things are there, what the things are there.
Very, very different things emerges after that. Yeah. So just wanted to ask you one question, which is kind of again personal. Like most people, when given option in those days, would have chosen to become a doctor. Not many would have chosen veterinary as the option. So how come you landed here? I mean, what motivated you?
When I joined it here in the BBSN is in 1980 around this, and at that time you see the things and the very few diseases, the diagnostic and vaccines are available in the country, and the poor farmers cannot afford the antibiotic. Other things are there, so we have to come out with the vaccine. So my interest is there, the researcher, and research. Those people are cannot speak anything their pain.
Yeah.
So we are thinking on that direction is there, and that's my choice is the microbiologist. So that's the microbiologist, we are working on the microbiology, and then it starts. That's why I never went to the field, but we'll go there in the research lines, do the MBSc and PhD programs, and join the Indian Veterinary Institutes because that's have all the facilities to the research.
This 20 years, I mean, before of course coming here, I mean, you are working in IVRI.
It's 25 years.
25 years, and then particularly, I mean, you have been working on goats, cattle, kind of, assets which actually sustain poor people. Of course, there are also big farms, that's a different thing, but then quite a number of poor people use this as asset, which gives them nourishment, which gives them some amount of money, some amount of life sustenance and economic development. Any interesting incident that took place in your 25 years of career before coming here?
Particularly if you see the things that the nearby areas are there, and the Bareilly is there, is there. If you see the things are there, the poor people are living in the villages are there. They don't know what the vaccines are there, what the things are there. Particularly if you're taking the goats, kids, they're very, very poor because they have the very less money. So we are there in working. So we have starting one program is the Royalkhand Veterinary Clubs.
Okay.
That's club be providing the facility free of cost. And that's very near to the Bareilly is there. And some of our senior colleagues, junior colleagues, we say in Sunday, you have to provide the 3 hours every Sunday. So we're reaching there is there, and that's this much more helpful and satisfying for me. Our whatever the science are there, they can provide there. They can diagnose the cases are there, and sometimes we can provide the at the spot there. Yes, this is the disease is there. You come the samples, bring the IVRI is there, and provide the things are then solutions. So that's the very interesting things are there.
Yeah, I think moving with people, ordinary people, would have given quite a lot of interesting things. This is where we'll take a very short break. Keep watching Eureka. After the break, we are going to talk about this very important institute, National Institute for High Security Animal Diseases. The name itself is very revealing. We are going to discuss about this after this short break. Keep watching Eureka. Welcome back to Eureka. We are having a very exciting, very informative conversation with Dr. V.P. Singh. He is the Director of National Institute of High Security Animal Diseases, an institution under Indian Council for Agricultural Research at Bhopal. The name is very intriguing. High Security Animal Diseases. I mean, a national institute. So, what is this high security in this?
That's some of the diseases. Those are not in our country. That's exotic diseases, and sometimes the diseases is coming in our country. That's emerging disease. So that's the basic mandate to work on the diseases, and they require the biosecurity. Very high biosecurity is there. Also, to containment facilities are there. That's why the high security animal diseases is keeping on these institutions are there.
So, when you say that it's exotic disease, so which means that these are not diseases that animals or birds in India, which is commonly living, would have faced in its history, right? I mean, it's something that is coming from outside.
Yeah.
So, which are all the way, for example, this kind of new diseases migrate to India?
That's the number of diseases are there, particularly if you see the things the Nipah is coming in. That's the human being, but not in the animals are there. Another very important disease is African swine fever. It is there in China, Myanmar is there, not in India, but any day is coming. So we have the full preparedness of that diseases are there. MERS is there. Middle East that disease MERS is there, that is in the human beings, transmitting to the camels are there, but there is no cases there in our country is there. Okay. But we have the preparedness on these diseases.
So you said that, for example, this African swine flu disease, which affects, I guess, pigs, right?
Yeah.
In India, the pigs are not affected as of now.
Yeah, no.
But in China and Myanmar,
yes, this disease there.
So you say that it will get transmitted from there. How will it come?
That's the particularly sometimes the Myanmar is there. That's the boundary is there. Sometimes the porous borders are there, and moreover nowadays is the transportation is much more high. The people are coming, that animals are coming is there. So number of issues are there. And particularly that in these issues, any day anything is coming out, we can't say anything.
Okay, so this is what you want to secure. So suppose if some people are importing, let's say, animal product, so there is a risk of such kind of exotic diseases coming into India, particularly exotic virus or things coming into India, right? So how do you ensure?
So that's the government of India's policy is there. If anybody is any import is there, or even the exports of the animal products are there.
Okay, including exports.
Exports are there. So that's the to which country we are exported import. So they have the guidelines are there. Sanitary guidelines are there, and that guidelines are there. So these diseases are identified. 4, 5, 7 diseases are there. That's diseases, the products or the animals should be free from that one. So that institution is do the jobs are there.
Okay.
All the exports are doing the things. What are the animal products are there? We are nowadays we are 17 diseases are there. We have testing on 17 diseases are there. So any commercial house, any exporter is doing that. Similar with the imports. Particularly, I say that very recently the merino sheep is coming from the Australia. So I think last month is coming is there. So the samples are here. So the border disease is there because the border disease. So our country is the mandatory things are the border disease. So we are testing this. Once they are testing, then they release from the quarantines to go the Himachal Pradesh and the Uttarakhand. That's the systems are there.
So one would have observed, for example, in many airports. And of course, maybe
quarantine.
There is a quarantine, animal quarantine facility.
6 quarantine stations are there in the animal ports are there, and that's the. And we have charges the money from that one. So just for it kind of information, this institution is earning the revenue more than 2 crore rupees.
Okay.
Every year from these houses because we testing fees are there. But what the things are there, other testings, diagnosis for the country, we are free of charge, not for farmers other. But they are the commercial houses are there, so we have charges things.
Okay. So, but how an institute sitting in Bhopal will be able to monitor all this?
Well, earlier that thing, this is central place was there because this is the central India is there, central place is there, and second things are there. That's the connectivity is very good. So that's why the planners that time they thinking that's the institution should be in the Bhopal.
See, now when somebody is importing or exporting, you can have a check. If there is a porous border, one can try to see if one can have much more vigilance over there. But what about migratory birds? I mean, migratory birds can bring...
Yes. Migratory bird is the major source of the infection is there. And if you see, go back to 2017 and 18 is there. The Delhi Zoo was closed, Gwalior Zoo was closed, and Mysore Zoo was closed. And that times the avian influenza was there coming from the wild birds. So they are coming, so migratory routes are there, and that's where they have settled. Particularly, they are coming on the Delhi Zoos are that they have infected things are that, and that's the problems are coming. So on that, we can't have any control is there, but they are the major source of the infection.
But you keep watch and then ensure that things don't.
So that's time the samples are coming. So as things are there, the samples are sending here. We see the things are there. That's why the national action plan is there. For all the particular avian influenza, that's the national action plan is the country is there. They have to send the samples in the regular basis are there. We test the samples and see the things are.
Yeah. So when we talk about animal diseases, and particularly your institute is focused more on exotic animal diseases, but otherwise also generally, if I want us to talk, if you look at cattle or pig, they are also mammals. I mean, something like human. So in very similar to human, I mean, there will be also diseases. Like in human, once there was this viral disease, smallpox. Today we have completely eradicated it by vaccination. Can we not think of vaccination which can completely eradicate some of the...
We are thinking, but that's why this is the priority of this institution is also there. The development of the diagnostics and the vaccine, good vaccines are there, particularly in exotic emerging diseases. And other diseases, the other institutions are there. IVRI is there, and other institutions are there. They are working on that one. And I think as a smallpox, you say the example is that the rinderpest is there. That is the disease of the cattle. And that's the huge mortality is there. And not in India, but globally, all the countries, I think, and I think the good vaccines was there, viral vaccines, and thinks globally that disease is eradicated. Now there is no rinderpest is there. So the similar way is there. People are working in avian influenza is there. We are working on that avian influenza is there, and the highly pathogenic is there. But now we are a little bit shifting on that, the universal vaccines, because every time the clade is changing. So we are thinking the universal vaccine, and future I hope my scientists are working very hard on that one and getting a good results out there.
This is where we'll take a very short break. Keep watching Eureka. After the break, we are going to have a peek view into their biosafety labs. Welcome back to Eureka. We are having a very enlightening conversation with Dr. V.P. Singh, who is the Director of National Institute of High Security Animal Diseases in Bhopal, which is a constituent unit of Indian Council for Agricultural Research. Your institute actually hosts one of the world's best biosafety labs, where you are actually also storing some of the deadly viruses which affect animals and birds, but also you are also doing testing of animals, products that are coming to you, samples that are coming to you. Can we take a quick glimpse into your facility?
Yeah, you can take the glimpse of this one, and I think I will inform you, this is the avian influenza. This is the OI reference laboratory is there. And very recently we have the accredited NABL 17025. And 2017, this is the unique accreditation of this laboratory is there, particular things are there.
Yeah, thank you. Let's take a quick look at your facility and then come back.
The NIH-SAD came into existence on the 8th of August 2014 as an independent institute from its original status of High Security Animal Disease Laboratory, which was a regional station of the Indian Veterinary Research Institute. The entry into the containment lab is restricted. Only after verification by a biometric access control system can one enter the containment complex through designated shower areas. A person has to remove all clothes and accessories in the outer change room, enter the inner change room through the showers, and put on the designated laboratory dress. To exit from the laboratory, one must go through the electronically controlled mandatory 3 showers of 5-minute cycles. Inside, the laboratory rooms are designated for disease diagnosis, virological, immunological, pathological, molecular, and cell culture work. There is a dedicated facility for handling infectious material provided with a separate autoclave in the infection room complex. In this area, maximum personal protection measures are adhered to, and the highest level of discipline is mandated in maintaining laboratory and personal safety. As per the biosafety norms, first aid facilities are available inside the containment area. The biosafety staff closely monitors the movement of men and material. Heavy equipment and other materials are brought into or taken out through the airlock after formaldehyde fumigation. A dunk tank exists in the non-contaminated corridor for taking out material by alkali decontamination. All the material that is sensitive to heat and chemical treatment are sent outside the lab through a double-door barrier ethylene trioxide gas sterilizer that opens outside the containment area. For discard of solid wastes, there are two double-door barrier autoclaves with ends opening inside and outside the containment area. The autoclaved hazardous waste material is sent further for incineration as per pollution control rules. The NIH SAD is a systematically organized animal housing and experimentation facility. The receiving shed is an enclosed housing facility to keep the newly procured animals in quarantine. The animals from the receiving shed are shifted to the holding shed after completion of quarantine period and are kept here until the commencement of experimental trials. The biocontainment animal wing portion is a biosafety level 3+ facility with graded negative pressure. It comprises 4 large animal rooms, 3 small animal rooms, and 3 rooms designated for lab animals. A separate isolator room is designated for testing birds and lab animals for highly infectious agents and recombinant organisms. The biocontainment animal facility is connected to the laboratory through an electronically controlled pass-through cabinet, which is used for transport of material from the animal wing to the laboratory and vice versa. The central portion of the animal wing is the necropsy area. The inlet to a rendering cooker is provided here. A cold room facility at -10 degrees centigrade is available for storage of carcasses until they are rendered. The transmission electron microscope facility is located in a dedicated building outside the containment area for ultrastructural studies and for quick confirmation of various exotic and emerging viral infections of animals. The NIH SAD also has a unique, specific pathogen-free facility in a separate building with a capacity to rear 100 birds. It has 2 super isolators maintained at positive pressure. The birds are reared on autoclaved feed, filtered water, and HEPA-filtered air. The flock is regularly tested for 25 different avian diseases. The birds are then taken in transport isolators for experimentation to the animal facility. The air handling system of the entire biocontainment area is administered with the help of 23 air handling units. The air is supplied through pre-filters and is exhausted via HEPA filters. Sewage from the lab and the animal wing is collected and sterilized in the effluent treatment plant before evacuation to the outside. The working of air handling units and the effluent treatment plant is supervised and monitored from the control room.
Thank you. It was really very interesting. Excellent facility with impeccable security arrangements. That's something one should say so, because these are all dangerous things, but we have to work on them. We are keeping them in great security. That's a very interesting point. Recently, animal diseases have come into focus because there are a number of cases where these are spreading from animals to human beings. If you look at some of these things like bird flu, SARS or Nipah, these are all viruses which are actually affecting those animals. Usually viruses which affect one animal don't affect animals belonging to another class. Humans are a separate class. So why it is affecting us now? How come it is affecting us now?
That's slowly they are due to mutations is there. So on those mutations are there, the receptors and other things are there. So that will change the systems are there, and then they slowly they are affecting the things and they're changing the things are there. Once the clade is something is there, after sometimes we say in case of the influenza is there, then another clade starts coming, and that's why the one vaccine is not working. Then other things are there. That's the issue.
Okay, so this is a scene today. I mean, humans are living closer to some of these animals because we have been rearing them. We have been producing them in huge numbers. We are using it for multiple purposes, right? So the animal-human contact is much higher today. So this potential is also high. So what do you think are safety measures that as a country we should adopt?
The biosecurity system should be very stringent should be there, and moreover the once do any import and exports are there. That condition should be very stringent. We have to testing on this one. Should not be any liberties there, because sometimes any infections is coming from through any animal products or any import of the animals are coming. And the second thing, the borders are there. On these borders are there, in particular on these border areas are there. That's why we provide the training programs are also there.
Okay.
But particular northeastern regions are there, all the veterinarians and other things. We providing the biosecurity and biosafety trainings programs are there. So they know this, they understand the systems are there, and they send the samples right time to here. So if any things are coming in the positive or what are things are, then we can take the things. If you have these precautions, will take the things are there. I think a very large extent we can control the diseases are there, or can provide the diagnostics and the future plannings on the right time.
See, you use the word diagnostics. You are a research lab, so if some sample is given to you, you have a huge number of scientists, you can detect. But one lab will not be enough for the all over the country. So are you making any kind of detection kits which can be used wider?
Yeah.
Is there any sample that you can show us?
Very recently I can show you things. This is the avian influenza antibody detection kit is there. At the present is there, the government of India, apart from this laboratory, they are making the regional diagnostic laboratories in the country, the different parts of the country, and they provide the trainings programs to diagnose these areas. But basic problem is that particular avian influenza at the present there is not a single diagnostic kit is there in our, you can say, the made in India. And this is the first time this laboratory is making the things other made in India, and it's very cheap. If you're saying that, then I think 30% or 40% cost is coming on that one. At the present is there any those are the kits are coming outside. The one sample cost is minimum 150 or is go to 270 rupees per samples. But that's commercialized. We are under the process of the commercialized. It will not go more than 40 rupees per sample.
So from 270 to 40 rupees.
Yeah, 40 So that's very cheap is there, and the technology is our own technology. The similar way is there. What I told you, the PRRS. That's a disease in the northeastern is there.
Okay.
So we have developed the same antibody ELISA kit as there, and that is also wonderful things are there. So these kits are developed by our institute scientists are there, and they are under the process of the commercialization. And in the future, they will save a lot of money is there, and it is our own made in India kits are there.
So as a director, what kind of new visions you are putting forward for your institute?
My new visions is there, particularly if the things are there in the country, particularly the diagnostics are there, and the vaccine. Vaccines should be the DIVA basis vaccine, because that's the problem is that if you are any vaccine is preparing is there, is differentiating. So the vaccines are there, and second is the human resource developments. That's the important area. That's why the country we are providing the things are there. Okay, trainings programs is much more focused. The pupils are there. They may be the veterinarians or non-veterinarians. They should understand the biosafety and biosecurity, and that's why every year we are providing training programs on that one. So if the training programs are there, people are HRD is much more there than, and the diagnostics and vaccines are there. They should be our vaccines are there, and then the cost effective. If the cost effective is that the poor farmers can afford the things are there, I think that's the basic mandate in the near future is there. This is the institutions are there.
That's nice. Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful conversation and for your time. We visited a very important national facility here, and thank you for that. Keep watching Eureka. For want of time, we need to end this conversation here. Keep watching. We'll come back with another interesting conversation next week, same time.